This video is not intended to give medical advice, nor to treat, cure, or heal any diseases. It's simply for educational purposes only.
With structured water. I'm going to share my tips on how to structure your water for better health.
When we sat down with Tony Nora, the first thing we wanted to do was record his thoughts on the topics that everyone was raving about. H3O2 was one of those topics.
For longevity. So tip number one, you want to structure that water. I like as it's pouring into.
Okay, so H3O2, is it a better version of water?
H3O2 is not even, if you understand atomic structures, which is atomic structures are called pico levels. You have nano levels. Your nano is a measurement. You have pico level, which is atomic structures. If you understand things from a molecular level, you would understand all you have to do is do the mathematical calculation to do an evaluation to see whether H3O2 is stable. And if you understand atomic structures, you would know that theoretically, even if it was real, it would be poison because it would be an unstable positive ion that would steal electrons from the body.
This is Henry Mitchell. I'm now listening to responses from Dr. Tony Nora for the Back to the Roots documentary. This is recording number 19. Tony talking about his encounter with head pharmaceutical reps. They called him into their headquarters to have a conversation.
I said, but let me tell you something, sir. I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes. I'm here to give the medical community something else they can work with. I'm not trying to take away from you guys. He said, oh, listen. He said, listen, we're not worried about you. He said, what make you think we worry about you? He said, we didn't even worry about Jesus. You know why? I'm like, huh? Why? You know why Jesus couldn't do nothing? I'm like, why? Because nobody believed it. And he kind of leaned back and looked at me. I'm like, whoa. It hit me like a ton of like this, like it felt like this was the devil I was talking to, challenging me. Actually agreed with me. But good luck trying to convince people to unlearn all of this stuff they done learned and all this indoctrination and lies they've been told. Good luck trying to convince people that holistic healing works. He challenged me. But guess what? Challenge accepted. Dr. Sebi said it's one disease, but there are many causes. That's what people had to figure out.
On December 3rd, a film crew received information about one man's discovery that could change the course of the world.
Yeah, it's going to return at some point. They kept trying to get me to have a surgery to remove my bladder, but I'm not going to do that because I know that the cancer is gone. I feel better. I'm stronger. And look how fast, 3 cancers, look how fast I recovered.
The person is Dr. Tony Nora.
Of course, October the 27th, I just had my kidney removed. And then December 14th, I had a portion of my large intestine removed. So there was 2 major surgeries, and you could imagine the pain that I was in. I mean, the pain was just, wow. And I take it every day, and I can feel myself getting stronger. My hair started growing back. I got a beard. I've never in my life had a beard. All my hair fell out. I was weak. I'm getting my strength back. I'm able to walk.
And the formula? Let's just put it this way.
What would you like to say to Dr. Tony Noor?
Thank you. Thank you. I can't thank him enough. I can't thank him enough. Thank you. Saved my life. There's no doubt in my mind. You saved my life.
So you wondering why? Well, Tony, I used this formula that you had and it helped with my diabetes. Okay, the alpha and the beta cell on the pancreas had been damaged because it hit it, knocked off an electron. So what I create simply goes and donate electrons. Well, I got asthma. Well, what happens is you got pathogens in the environment that goes into the bronchial tube, steals electrons, cause the mucous membranes to secrete for the mucus, the constriction of the bronchioles. And then what I do is create a formula that goes in there and stabilize, donate the electrons, so the bronchioles, the constriction, or what we call inflammation, is released, and the mucous membrane stop making excess mucus, so you stop making that slurpy sound, and then you're straight. So in other words, say a pathogen in the air, unstable atoms that's missing an electron, and you cigarettes are prime example of an unstable atom. So with cigarette smoke, it's unstable. It has unbalanced electrons. So when you smoke and inhale that poison, a poison is only a poison because it has unbalanced, unstable electrons.
Free radicals can do a lot of damage to the body if not kept in check. They occur naturally when you breathe as the body converts air into chemical energy. They also come from external sources such as pollution, X-rays, and cigarettes. The definition of a free radical is an atom with an unpaired electron. Electrons like to be in pairs, so when the free radical forms, it will steal electrons from other molecules to pair up with its own. This in turn destabilizes the other molecules, turning them into free radicals themselves, and creates a chain reaction. This domino effect can lead to cellular damage, including the breakage of the cell membrane, the altering of proteins, and destruction of DNA code. Cellular damage from free radicals is known as oxidative stress. Oxidative stress plays a role in the development of cancer, cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's, amongst other diseases. It also plays a role in aging. In fact, there's a free radical theory of aging that states that we age because of free radical damage over time. Thankfully, there is a way to lessen the damage of free radicals: antioxidants. Antioxidants are molecules that are able to give an electron to free radicals without destabilizing themselves, thus stopping the chain reaction. Our body produces some antioxidants on its own, but not a sufficient amount. You can introduce more antioxidants to your body through your diet. As a rule of thumb, the more colorful the food, the better. Some examples of antioxidant fruits and veggies include blueberries, oranges, strawberries, carrots, spinach, and broccoli. Other antioxidant foods include green tea, dark chocolate, salmon, garlic, pecans, and sweet potato. Antioxidant herbs and spices include cilantro, turmeric, ginger, thyme, cumin, and cayenne pepper.
So when you smoke the poison, it's already going to your body as an unstable atom. So it needs electrons. So when you smoke it, it goes into the bronchioles, goes down into to the trachea, down to the bronchioles, and it goes in your bronchial tubes. What normally look like a water hose, once it goes in there and steal electron, you get to the size of a straw. Let me say that one more time. When you smoke cigarettes, it goes into the trachea, down to the bronchial tubes, and what normally look like a water hose get to the size of a straw. Simply because an unstable atom that we call a disease goes in there and steals an electron, it causes a reaction, so the body starts responding, and inflammation is simply your body responding, trying to crush out something, push it out. Mucus is just a bucket of water trying to flush out dirt. That's it. Mucus is a part of your immune system working to your defense. When you get dust in your eye, mucus is not just making you run just because you're crying. It's actually trying to flush out pathogens. Same way in your bronchial tubes. Your bronchioles that get to the size of normally look like a water hose get to the size of a straw. The mucous membrane starts secreting mucus, trying to flush it out, and then you have inflammation that constricts, trying to push it out as well. So if you take my formula, it'll take let's say one of my formulas, no particular name, and you ingest it, it comes with a backpack full of electrons, goes in there and donates to calm down the oxidative stress. It donates electrons, so the body relaxes, inflammation leaves, mucous membrane stops secreting mucus. goes away. No more asthma attack. So what I create can go in there and stabilize many things, because you put a pig in a wig, it's still a pig.
As I watched this part of the interview, I realized that Tony was speaking about mucus not in a negative light, but in a positive light. Now that's contrary to what most of us have been led to believe. That's worth investigating.
If you've got a cold, mucus is hard to miss. But what is it? And what does it do besides making you miserable? Your body produces more than 1 liter of mucus every day. And all the wet surfaces of your body that are not covered by skin, like your eyes, nose, mouth, lungs, and stomach, get a liberal coating. That's why they're known as mucous membranes. Mucus plays lots of roles in your body. It keeps delicate tissues from drying out and cracking, which would expose them to infection. It lubricates your eyes so you can blink. It protects your stomach lining from acid. It neutralizes threats by removing or trapping substances that could make you sick. And finally, it houses and keeps your body's trillions of bacterial inhabitants, your microbiota, under control.
Learning that mucus is not the cause of all diseases, but in fact aids in killing diseases, to me, was mind-blowing. Tony was right. And that only made me want to dig a little bit deeper. As I clicked through the topics, I came across one that really caught my attention.
Is homosexuality a hormonal and chemical imbalance?
So Tony, can you pray gay away?
Listen, as I said, can a female pray her masculine mustache away? You got to be very careful with it, because there's a lot of young children who have committed suicide simply from lack of understanding, and no one's going deep to be able to give them clarity. Telling a person, you're trapped that way, there's nothing you can do. Come on now. The scientific community and the medical community look at you as a cash cow.
2 years ago, 14-year-old Nigel Shelby took his own life after being bullied for being gay. He was a freshman here at Huntsville High School, where his parents say he was discriminated against by both students and staff.
All of this stuff was going on, and I had no idea. It hurts even worse because as a parent, you want to do everything you can to protect your kids.
They didn't report as they should have when they had direct knowledge.
Tony doesn't discriminate no one. He loves everybody. Mm-hmm. And like we discussed earlier, that, sometimes, people take it out of content because they don't want to hear the truth. But how you going to be set free if you don't want to hear the truth? Certain things that he said, it hurt, but it's the truth. Tell me the truth. Don't beat around the bush or sugarcoat with nothing. I'd rather want to know the truth.
Tony went live and he was talking about the gay community. Not talking about the gay community, talking about people being gay. I can remember clear as day, Tony called us and he asked us, hey, you guys, y'all didn't get offended. No, we didn't, Tony, because we want to know the truth. Because we get labeled all kinds of ways instead of being told the truth. And he was telling us about the XY, the chromosome and everything, and why this one is acting the way they're acting, like a man acting like a woman and a woman acting like a man, or why they like the same sex.
So if my son comes to me and say, Dad, I feel like a female, that tells me that his male hormones are low. So do I give him more female hormones, or do you balance him out by giving him male hormones? They have hormone therapy. So if you have a female that says she want to feel like a man, they take her male hormones to make her feel more masculine. Then you have a man that say he feel like a female. Well, they give him female hormones, knowing that his masculine hormones are low. Why would you not just cross that up to where if the man said he feel like a female, instead of giving her male hormone, give that man juice to him. If it can make her feel like a man, just imagine what it could do to him. And then that female hormones you giving to him, just imagine what it could do to her. They about confusion and stacking a dollar. Key thing is, like I said earlier, if the medical community is about making money. A sick person is job security to the hospital. A person who have a hormone and chemical imbalance, that's a lifetime customer. They make synthetic hormones that you have to take for the rest of your life. So that's why they won't be honest and tell a person, look, it's a hormone and chemical imbalance in the brain and in the body. And we could actually do hormone therapy to jumpstart your body to producing the proper hormones within itself. But no, they're not gonna do that.
So they're not lying when they say I was born like this.
No, you can be, for instance, I talked about the Klinefelter syndrome. The Klinefelter syndrome is a young man is born with an extra X chromosome. For instance, the father gives the Y chromosome and the male hormones, and the mother's supposed to give the X chromosome and the female hormone. What happens with Klinefelter syndrome is that the father gives the male hormones, but the mother not only gives one dose of the female hormone, she gives double dose to the boy. And now he not only has XX chromosome, but he has female hormones. And not only does it affect his physical attributes, it also reduces the amount of male hormones that he makes. It reduces androgen and testosterone, scientifically proven.
So you weren't offended?
No, not at all. Not at all. It was amazing to me to hear him talk about it.
Because we never
and
knew.
to see.
Never knew. Because we have a
what
lot
the
of gay
outcome was.
friends. We have a lot of male gay friends. And I used to always wonder, well, why, why they act this certain way, or
why they act more like a girl.
Yeah.
That's just what's
wonder,
us.
like
Wondering.
But now, since I know, that's just like me. I act more boyish than feminine. I like to wear, as you can see, I'm tomboyish. I'm more masculine than I am feminine. But I don't get upset about, nothing like that, because now that I know the truth and why, I'm happy with it.
So if a young man has not only an extra female chromosome, extra female hormones, and reduced male hormones, who is he gonna act like? What other choice? You say, I feel like a lady. Well, you're only making female hormone. What other, and it can be to the point to where we forget that hormone imbalance can be as aggressive or at least aggressive as some people may get it to where they have both genitalias, aggressive version of hormonal imbalance. A female could have male and female genitalia. It could be as minimum as a female, instead of having genitalia, she could just have male attributes as far as the mustache and the beard, making testosterone. Or it could be to where they don't have any of the physical appearances, however, they still have the male hormones and feel a little masculine. So that tells you that's a hormonal and chemical imbalance. And you have to be able to explain it to people to where a person won't go commit suicide, that, or have gender dysphoria. They will classify it as gender dysphoria, which means it's emotional instability. But what causes gender dysphoria? Klinefelter syndrome, the Turner syndrome, the XXX syndrome, and others. You have female XY chromosome mutations. There's many different genetic and hormonal chemical imbalances and genetic mutations, as they call single nucleotide polymorphisms, or translocations. In this case, the translocation of nucleotides.
translocation of the nucleus means the nucleotides located to another, they went to another place.
Incredible.
Simply translocation of the nucleotides mean that the nucleotides, they relocated to out of a place that it's not supposed to be.
He's a good person and he's only speaking true facts. And if people don't understand the honesty that Tony is putting out there, I don't know what to say for him, because he never looked at us wrong or said nothing negative towards us, because we always had an open relationship with Tony since we met Tony. And he's a good person. And things that we didn't know, Tony taught us, and it's amazing. It's so amazing. And I'm happy God sent him in our direction and led us to Tony, because at the end of the day, we need that, because who else is going to tell us what's going on and the truth about ourselves?
Our community need the truth. And the truth hurts sometimes, but we need the truth. You know, the Bible says the word is like a two-headed sword. It cuts going in and it cuts going out. And we have to come in terms with that. You know, don't be so selfish and don't be so quick to judge. You know, get to know a person before you say that, oh, he's bashing or he's gay bad. Tony loves everyone.
And when we went to discovering things with the gay life, Tony explained to us gay means happy. And we are happy. We are happy. We are happy. 17 years, we are happy.
My name is Gerald Savage, and I am a recent retiree from the Pittsburgh Public Schools, Pittsburgh Kappa 6-12, which is a creative and performing arts school, in which I was the chairperson of the vocal department there. That actually is what I retired from as a job. As a career, I continue to work as a musician, church musician, sound healer, sound therapist with my practice, soundpill.net, which is basically a assessment program that assesses energies in the body, founded on the principle that everything in the universe is made up of vibrations of frequencies. And basically my job is to assess the frequencies as they occur in an individual through a voice assessment, and then work with that individual to balance out those particular frequencies as needed. That is to say, those frequencies that are needed more, to give more of that to the individual, and those frequencies that are overblown, to give less of the frequencies. That's done through basically diet, lifestyle. There's a toning component, meaning you can use your voice to actually tone your body into a certain frequency range. And also you can have things such as Bach flower essences, essence oils, these kind of things, which all have some type of vibration, as well as colors. So everything in the universe is basically in a vibrational state and a frequency-based state, and that we are basically trying to bring into balance what it is that individual lacks or has more than what they need. Things that I'm very much into is understanding that I started off with the idea that it was about music and sound. What I've come to understand is about entire health, holistic health and wellness. That's what it's really about. It's not just about music and sound. So it's just like if you're not eating things that are vibrationally high, energetic, pure in nature, cooked foods, for instance, as opposed to raw foods. A cooked food is going to have certain enzymes that are going to be cooked out of that particular food. Vibrationally, it's not going to be the same as if you ate that same food in a raw state. So life is going to be vibrationally high, functioning high level when it's raw, if you're talking about food, and then you talk about if it's kind of in between, and eventually if it's cooked, then what do? We take dry beans and we put water What does the water do? It adds life back to that food that we are consuming. So it's not just about sound and music, even though it has an impact. It's everything that you do. It's the thoughts, it's the intentions, it's the emotions, it's getting out into nature. It's about walking barefoot in the grass. It's about every aspect of life. It's about the fabrics you wear. It's about the paints that are on your wall. It's about what your carpet is made up of. Are you wearing cotton versus polyester? All of those things are vibrationally impacting the individual. So it's beyond just music and sound, but music and sound is primarily the vehicle through which I explored these other areas and discovered that it's much more than that. Thank you, Tony. Tony, thank you for showing me a deeper aspect of life that I really did not quite understand and know, but now helping me also to tie all the pieces together to make sense of this powerful force that we have called life, and actually presenting it in such a way in which you do, and that is from the heart with humility and sweetness.
If I gave you your favorite dish that was laced with poison, would you eat it? Most people would say, no. What if I told you that the poison would take 30 years before it killed you? Would you eat it? My point exactly.
Either food is healing you or killing you. There's no in between. Either food is healing you or killing you. That's it. And most of these restaurants are no more than dietary assassins. I said, most of these restaurants are no more than dietary assassins. The food has been modified to destroy. A loaded 9mm cheeseburger.
Dr. Sebi was so much more than someone giving health advice. To me, he was the physician from God. So his passing left all of these people lost.
They don't care about their health anyway. This is what some people think.
Lost
They don't care about their health.
because it felt like with him went the knowledge
And inside look raggedy. Kidneys, heart, lungs.
that God wanted us all to have.
Raggedy can be, but I'm cute on the outside. I'm cute on the outside. I remember.
She looked like she was on her deathbed, basically. And I don't think if I would have got her in the time that I did, she probably wouldn't have made it through the night. She wasn't taking fluids. She wasn't taking food. So, of course, she had no outputs for BMI. For a bowel movement or for urine. So I took her in and I said, listen, y'all are going to see her. And they was like, well, we can't see her right now. We're seeing well patients. You have to leave. And I said, well, you call security. You call whoever you have to call. So at this point, I had posted her on social media while we were waiting in the waiting room. And of course, I'm from Central Texas. Everybody knows Tony Nora. And so someone tagged him in the video and said, please help her. So he reached out to me and he says, I'm going to send you something. I'm going to make her an ointment. And he explained to me about rubbing it on her wrists, behind her ears, the bottom of her feet. I come home to take a shower and I had a package here. I picked it up. This was the next day. This is a full 24 hours now. I go back to the hospital. I rub it on her. She starts showing some improvements within hours. So she got up, she was moving around, she started eating, within hours of me putting this medication on her. And now that I look back at it and I see how bad she was, if it was not for Tony and me advocating for her, she wouldn't have made it. They would have ended up hospitalizing her and she would have never came out of there.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Let me tell you what I believe. I believe that Dr. Sebi left us the blueprint and God sent Tony to build the house.
That's a pretty name, Jesse.
Thank you.
Listen, if one day you have something, like a disease, a sickness, and then somebody comes along and gives you something, and then you don't have it anymore? What is that?